What up, friends? Welcome to Next Level Consciousness with Linnea Stella. Today we are going to talk about how to overcome the fear of starting your YouTube channel using, guess what? Human design. And you can also apply this to things like starting your podcast, starting your own personal brand, your business. Whatever you're going through right now, one thing I know for sure, and that is that you were guided to this video because the universe wants you to step up and bloom now, not later, okay? And I know that you know that deep down. So we have a lot to cover today as usual, so let's dive in to the 7 reasons, the 7 fears that your mind may come up with that is holding you back. One thing first, if you haven't already, please hit the like button and subscribe. I have so much goodness channeling through me right now, so you do want to stay tuned. That I also know. So over to the first fear that may come up around starting your YouTube channel. And that is, I don't have the motivation. I am not motivated. Now this may already sound a little contradictory to all the type A people out there, like, oh, if you don't have the motivation, it's not for you. I would argue that that is not necessarily true because it might be 1 or 2 things that are going on here. So the first thing may be that there is actually a fear in disguise that is dressing up as not having the motivation. And then you might want to keep watching this video to see if any of the other fears apply to you, because you might also experience several of these fears that we're going to cover today. But the other reason that might be a little controversial in the personal development space, in the entrepreneurial space, is that you may need to rest. Yes, that's true, because we always talk about doing more, about delivering, about always performing, about being consistent, and that you need to push, you need to work hard. Now, human design says that you don't necessarily need to work harder because that might not be in energetic alignment with you. But if you feel exhausted, my top tip for you is to rest. Sometimes inaction is the number 1 action. Actually, the thing that takes you the shortest path to success, to freedom, to abundance, to starting your YouTube channel. And let's look into what the possible potential human design explanation may be in this lack of motivation. And that is that you may have an undefined or open heart center in your human design chart. So, my hand-drawn little human design chart, no copyright issues here. And these geometric figures that you see on the chart are your 9 energy centers. And they can have 1 or 2 modes. So either they are colored in your chart, and that means that it is a defined energy center, an energy that you have consistent access to. Or they may be white, and that denotes an undefined energy center, meaning that you don't have consistent access to the energy in question. And the energy center that we are talking about right now is located right here, your beautiful heart center. In human design, heart center stands for willpower, for motivation. And 70% of the people actually do have an undefined heart center. So if you have that, you are in good company. What that means for you energetically is that your motivation naturally comes and goes. It fluctuates, so you don't have consistent access to motivation. That also means that it can be very destructive for you to try to push through when you don't have that motivation there. And the explanation for that, as I see it, is that you are someone who is a little more in tune in this aspect of life with the universe, meaning that the universe is constantly communicating with you through your heart center, and nothing is a coincidence in life. So this means that when you need the motivation, when you feel the motivation, that is the green light from the universe. The universe telling you that yes, everything is in place, you can move forward now. Now the good thing is also that your undefined energy centers, in this case your heart center, act as amplifiers of energy. So that means that when you do have access to the energy of motivation, you feel it a lot stronger than someone who has a defined heart center, such as I, for example. People with a defined heart center have a more consistent access to motivation, but that said, motivation is an energy that comes in cycles. So even if you have a colored in a defined heart center on your human design chart, you still need to rest when you don't have the motivation. It's just that for you, it's probably something that you have a little more often, a little more on a regular basis, on a cyclical basis, than someone who has an undefined heart center. So really start to own that. And this goes again, this is what I love with human design. It's such a rebellious system. This goes against everything that traditional personal development speaks about, that you need to always be motivated, you need to go up at 5 a.m, you need to do this and that in order to reach success. Whatever success means to you, because that's also something that is personal. So really, if you have an undefined heart center, trust and honor your lack of motivation and send it gratitude. Send it a little prayer, a little thank you note, because that is just the universe telling you that if you would take action, despite the lack of motivation, maybe things would not happen in the highest alignment, in your highest good. Because the universe knows that maybe you are gonna get a message in 5 minutes that would have you take the complete opposite action. Maybe someone would reach out to you, maybe you would get to know something. Something would happen that makes you change your mind and makes you take an action that is more in your highest alignment. And that is why it is safe for you. It is safe for you to trust that the motivation will come in the right divine timing, no matter what your to-do list says. Okay? And also another note on motivation with an undefined heart center is that if you have an undefined heart center, you are probably more motivated by immaterial things. Meaning that you are not necessarily as motivated by the thought of having a lot of money, of fame. I have a defined heart center and I totally want to get rich and famous. No shame in that. But if you have an undefined heart center or an open heart center, you might be a little more motivated by soft factors in life. So you may feel a little more motivation around the thought of having a certain lifestyle, maybe spending more time with your kids, maybe being able to sleep in the morning. Whatever comes up to you that is not connected to something material or to money, because that's a little more for the defined heart center. So maybe it's also because you have been using the wrong factors of motivation for starting your YouTube channel. So really look into, okay, what really resonates with you? What does motivate me? Maybe the thought of getting monetized on YouTube is not the main motivation for you, but rather, okay, how many people can I help? What kind of lifestyle can I reach when I dare taking this action and move forward and actually start my YouTube channel or podcast? Now, the second fear or excuse that may come up to you around starting your YouTube channel is, I am not ready. The first thing I want you to do, if you feel this fear inside of you, is to notice, is this really something that I want to do deep down? Do I really feel like my intuition, if you know human design, my authority, is telling me to start a YouTube channel? Or is this just something I do out of FOMO? Out of fear, I need to jump on this bandwagon or else I will miss out, because then maybe this is not for you. But I guess that if your intuition guided you here to watch this video, this is really something that is in alignment for you, and this is really something that you are meant to do. And in that case, I want to tell you, ready is not a feeling, it is a decision. So if you are getting ready to get ready, you risk waiting forever, because you need to step up and take ownership and take power of your life, because I know that you have so much power. And just decided this is gonna happen, and I am dedicated and committed to overcoming all my fears, because my motivation for this, my desire, my sole purpose is so much more important than my fears. So let's have a look at what may be going on in your human design that might show up as the shadow side energy of, I'm not ready to do this. So there are a couple of things that I want you to look at in your chart. And now, this is not the best because it doesn't have the name of the channels and gates. And the first aspect of human design that came up to me when I was thinking about not feeling ready is right here. It goes from your spleen center, so this is maybe backwards you. It is the energy center that is to the left on your chart anyhow. And the outer one here that goes to your root center. If this is completely colored in either in red or black or in both, that means that you have the 1858 channel defined or activated in your chart, in your energetic DNA. And what that means is that you have a gift for knowing how to improve things, how to make things better. You just have this natural ability to see, like, how can you make things better? and really own that this is a gift. It's super cool. And the shadow side is really to be a little into perfectionism and also to apply this to people, maybe to your relationships, maybe to yourself, to be overly self-critical, which is something that you need to let go if you want to start your YouTube channel, okay? Because done is better than perfect, right? And if you are in the constant perfectionism and you just want to do things better and better and better, you risk never really putting something out, because let's face it, it will never be 100% perfect. So it's just a mindset shift that you need to make, that okay, I am gonna put this out even if it's not perfect. You hear that I am sometimes stumbling upon the words. I'm not gonna edit out everything. Yeah, I'm just gonna trust that my energy is enough, and I know that your energy is enough too. And also that you are learning in the process. It doesn't have to be perfect. You learn by doing, okay? So yeah, the 1858 channel, if you have it defined and you recognize that yes, I am someone who is prone to this perfectionism, start to look out consciously for the light side instead. Like, wow, how can I apply this to actually improve things? Maybe you can apply it in, if you have a business, you can apply it in a work situation. Don't just turn it inwards onto yourself, but try to really be a little less judgmental. So not going into judgment, but more into an objective sense of improvement, if that makes sense. Another marker that showed up that we can't really see in this beautiful figure is the line 6. So if you have line 6 in your profile, meaning that you might have a 4-6 profile, a 6-2, a 6-3, or a 3-6 profile. Ooh, a little striptease happening over here. Yeah, because line 6 means that you have high standards in life, and that means that you probably want to have a high quality also on your YouTube channel. And the shadow side of line 6 is really also perfectionism. So remember that you are someone who is really designed to have a big life in all aspects. You have the energy to manifest your dream life. But remember to also enjoy the journey. So when we talk about your YouTube channel, you need to also enjoy the process of making videos, of editing videos, of not having your channel exactly where you want it to be just yet. You need to learn to appreciate also the journey of getting there. We also have a gate 63 that is sitting on your crown center to the right here. That is the gate of doubt. And finally, we have gate 21 sitting here on your heart center, which is the gate of control. And I'm not going to go into detail because we have a lot to cover yet, but those two gates, the shadow side can also be that you are you want to have control over everything, or that you are overly doubting with gate 63 and you're doubting and you feel like things are never good enough. So just know that with all these aspects that I have mentioned in your human design, if you have them colored in, you have them activated in your energetic DNA, you can easily turn them into the light side of improving things, but from a sense of joy and from a sense of abundance, from a high vibration, not being overly critical, but more being like, oh, this is so interesting. I can learn how to make my YouTube videos better as I go. I don't need to have the perfection. I don't need them to be perfect from the get-go. And in general, all these aspects in human design that are tied to improvement, to control, to doubting, to thinking about how can you make things better, they are meant to be applied for the collective, for humanity as a whole, but not to judge yourself. So just make sure that you apply them in the right direction, which is outwards rather than inwards. And the third fear that may come up around starting your YouTube channel / podcast is I don't know enough, aka imposter syndrome, feeling like a total fraud, feeling like who am I to start a YouTube channel? I don't know enough, and getting stuck in that cycle of I just need to take one more course, I just need to watch one more YouTube video on how to start your YouTube channel. I just know to learn a little more before I am ready. And my general tip for you, if you feel like this is something that I recognize within myself, is to choose to use your power, your attention, the light of your awareness to what do I actually know, and to see how much you know already. Because I promise you that there are so many things you know. You may just not be used to actually seeing them and owning them. So make a list of all the things that you know. Make a list of all the things that may be of value, the things that you can start a YouTube channel around. You may be surprised at how completely awesome you are, because I know that you're awesome. You're totally lit. So the human design markers that I came to think about when it comes to feeling like I don't know enough, imposter syndrome, are mainly two things. So the first is if you have line 1 in your profile, either as the first or the second number in your profile. Because that means that you always seek for this foundational knowledge and you want to feel like you really master a topic before you start to share around that topic. And when you have line 1, you are like a magnet for knowledge, for information, for learning new things. So I know for sure, I'm not worried at all that you have all the skills and more of starting your YouTube channel, even of growing your YouTube channel to 1,000 subs, to 100k subs, to 1,000,000 subs. Because there is just so much you know. That is not at all the issue for you. So start to own the things that you know. It may be healing in itself to know that, okay, this is just an energy that I have present. Like, I am prone to feel this fear. Then you know that it's not valid. It has nothing to do with the truth. It is just the shadow side of you knowing a lot. And the second marker that I came to think about was gate 48. aka the gate of fear of inadequacy. Once again, that is the shadow side. The light side of this gate is that you do have this depth of knowledge. You do know a lot. People are actually attracted to you because they feel that you are someone who has such a depth of knowledge. You are like a well. It's actually in traditional human design called a well. You're like this deep well full of knowledge. And you have so much and you can just spread it out to all the people around you. And that's just so beautiful. So once again, just start to own your knowledge. And if you feel like, things are not going well, maybe you have started to share already and you feel like it's not really landing, or you're not seeing any effects of that, any traction on your channel if you have already started, or if you started to share your knowledge in some other context, it may be just a marketing problem, right? So it may not be that you don't know enough. It may be that your voice is not loud enough for people to actually find you. Meaning that you need to focus on, how can I market myself more? How can I get out there more? How can I speak louder? How can I own my skills more? How can I be more confident? That may also be the thing that you may want to focus on more. But when you have gate 48, when you have line 1, fear may tell you that this is actually that I don't know enough. But it's not true. It's simply not true. Okay, over to fear number 4, or excuse number 4 that your mind maybe comes up with against starting your YouTube channel. And that is, I don't have the energy. I'm too tired. I'm too exhausted. Now here, once again, I want to tell you that maybe you just need to rest. This is something, once again, that is a little controversial, that we don't hear talking about as much. We hear like, okay, you just need to push through, you just need to do it anyhow, even if you don't feel like it. Otherwise, you won't get anywhere in life. But 30% of all people have something in human design that is called an undefined sacral center. Let's look at our little human design figure again. So your sacral center is the center that is right here on the top of your root center, which is at the bottom. So your sacral center is responsible for sexual energy. It's responsible for work energy, for the creative energy. If you are among the 30% that have an undefined sacral center, that means that you, by definition, is either a manifestor, a projector, or a reflector. You actually need a little more rest than the rest of the people. And the world is really much designed around the 70% that are some kind of generator, so either a generator or a manifesting generator, because they actually do have the capacity to work for sustained hours, for long hours. But if you have an undefined sacral center, which is also the case for me, you're simply not designed to work long hours. And what I want to say instantly is that you can reach as much success. You can go as far in life as someone who has a defined sacral center, because you are perfectly designed. So that is the first maybe mindset shift that you need to know. Okay, for me, the ratio between working and resting looks different than what we have been programmed to think. Okay, and maybe what's true for generators and manifesting generators, because they often get into alignment by doing some kind of work, by doing some kind of action. For you, it's to leaning in and owning a little more the inaction, to being open to receive, to let things come to you, rather than to constantly be doing and putting things out into the world. It's also a little different. I'm not going to go into the difference between the energy types. If you're a manifester, it means that you are someone who's really good at getting ideas and starting things, getting things to take off, getting things off the ground. But you are not necessarily someone who is made to work for long hours and to actually finalize the things that you start. So it's all about honoring your energetic signature when it comes to work, and to find that optimal balance between work and rest. Because hustle culture is so old paradigm, right? It's not true for everyone. I mean, it's not true for anyone to overwork, but especially if you have an undefined sacral and you feel like I don't have the energy. My number one tip is to rest, because that is gonna take you into alignment the fastest. It's not gonna make you come behind, okay? And remember the mechanics, the workings of your undefined centers. You can actually take in and amplify work energy for shorter periods of time. So you can work more intensely for short periods of time, once again, when it is correct for you. When the universe guides you to situations where you are surrounded by the energy and you feel like you have this little kick, you can get so much done. It's not about the hours that you work, it's about the energy that you put out. And the next fear that may be holding you back from starting your YouTube channel is the fear of judgment / the fear of what other people may think, what other people may say. And my number one tip, we're not gonna go deeply into how to decondition this, because I have made a video about this, which is called How to Stop Giving a Fuck About What People Think. So you can go and watch this. The interesting part here is more to look into the human design aspects. So there were a few things that came up to me about the fear of judgment. So if these are activated, if these are colored into your chart, that may mean that you are prone to feeling fear of what other people think about you a little more than other people. So the first thing that came to mind was the 2343 channel, which goes from your mind center down to your throat center. It's the one in the middle there. With the 2343 channel, once again, if you want to go deeper into all this, I can recommend you to book a reading with you. I do life purpose reading where we go really deeply into your chart and really connect the dots within your chart. I'm just mentioning it briefly here so that you can start to look there, so that you know where you can start to decondition and what aspects you can turn into a light, what the light potential is of this shadow, because we don't hear it phrased that way as much, right? We just hear that is a fear that you have, but not that a fear is just a shadow side of a gift that you have. That is so much more powerful, don't you think? So when it comes to the 2343 channel, this means that you are someone who has so unique insights and thoughts and ways of seeing the world. You have a unique perspective, a unique and innovative, completely new way of thinking. That is your gift to the world. And since the channel goes from your mind center, the center of from the mind center, the center of thinking, down to your throat center, you are meant to vocalize. You are meant to share this verbally. These unique thought patterns, these unique ways of thinking. That is your gift to the world, and that can be really transformational when you put it out into the world. But if you have either the whole channel, 2343, or you have gate 23 or gate 43, either of them, color in your chart, you may have been in situations where people judge you, where people criticize you, especially if you're speaking out of turn, if people weren't open to receive the wisdom that you had to share. People may have laughed at you, judged you, you might have felt misunderstood. And then may have caused a trauma inside of you, saying that, oh, I'm not gonna share what I think and my unique ways of thinking because people just see me as weird. They don't get me, so I better just shut up and keep it to myself and dim my light. Don't dim your light, okay? You have a transformational effect on people. That I know for sure. The 2343 channel is so powerful. And now it's more important than ever, because you are the one who can speak out, whose words turn into gold on how we can change the world, how people can start to think differently and thus also act differently, so that we can make this world a world based on love and not on fear. So please step up. take action despite of your fear. You are so needed, and you have a big fan here. If you have the 2343 channel, or either the gates making up the channel. And this is also valid if you have the 1222 channel. The 1222 channel, I'm sorry because this is mirrored for you, but this is meant to be this energy center that is to the right in your chart. So it goes from the center in the right to your chart up to your throat center. That is the 1222 channel, the one on the inside. And if you have that colored in, it means that you, one, are either a manifestor or a manifesting generator. And two, it means that the shadow side aspect of this is that you may feel a fear, not as much of people judging you, people think that you are weird when you are talking on your YouTube channel, when you're making your videos, but rather of not being heard. You may feel like your voice is not making a difference. You're not making an impact with your words, so why would you even start a YouTube channel? Because no one would listen anyhow. The thing with you with the 1222 channel is that you are so powerful when you speak. It's very important for you to only speak when you feel in a good emotional state. It's a lot tied to your emotions, and once again, I'm not gonna go into detail of this channel, but it is much more powerful for you to speak when you feel like you are in an aligned state, and when you feel like you are in a good vibration emotionally, because the words are going to land so much better, and you may come off as a little aggressive if you speak when you are on the lower end of your spectrum. You may not see yourself as someone who takes up a lot of space, as someone who is very loud, as someone who is at the center of attention. But I want you to know that your words are having a very strong impact on people, whether or not you are realizing this. That is just natural for you. When you have the 1222 channel, by design, you are someone that people listen to. So start to own that. For you, it's not about being loud, about being all over the place. It's just about talking, and people will listen. So this is really your number one quality when you start your YouTube channel. That you are someone who attracts attention. Not by being maybe loud, it depends on other aspects of your chart. Maybe that's energetically correct for you. But you don't have to compare yourself to other YouTubers and think that you need to be like them to reach success. Because you are gonna get it automatically, just by speaking when you are in a good emotional state. And the last aspect that came to mind for me was being a manifestor. Because when you are a manifestor, I'm personally a manifestor, so I know a lot about that. You may feel a little weird. You are really here to change the world, okay? You're really here to pave new paths. You are a rebel. You're meant to do things differently. You're meant to move forward without waiting for permission. To just go out there and do your thing and talk about things that no one has ever talked about before. And then you might feel this fear that, what may other people do? So then the shadow side is that you may feel the fear of, oh, what are people gonna think? And I'm talking about such strange things, and people are gonna judge me. I'm not gonna get accepted if I talk about these things. Maybe you feel called to talk about aliens or other dimensions or spirit guides or all these amazing things. Go out there and do it. Talk about your unique way of seeing the world, or the things that you want to initiate in the world. Talk about things before they have manifested. It's energetically correct for you when you are a manifestor. And you have such a big impact on people. Your aura is so big. And it's a little similar as a 1222 channel. You may not feel like you're someone who takes up a lot of space, but you energetically take up a lot of space, and you are someone who people, they turn their head and they look at you when you pass by, just because your energy is so strong. So just own that. Own your uniqueness. You are designed to be different, because when you are different, you are helping create a different world. Now over to fear number 6 that may hold you back from starting your YouTube channel. And that is the fear that it is too late. Maybe you recognize this and you once again compare yourself, and you see people who were millionaires by the age of 15, or I don't know, and people who knew exactly what they wanted early on in life, probably the 5G centers, and you feel like, oh, it's too late for me to start my YouTube channel. Maybe you also feel like it's too saturated. There are already too many YouTubers out there. Why would anyone care about me? If this is you, I just want to challenge you. Is this really true? Is it really true that it's too late? What is too late? Is there like a universal natural law out there, a physical law saying that, okay, it's too late for you right now? It's as true as gravity. No. There is no universal law out there telling you that it's too late. It's all in your head. Okay, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. If you need anyone's permission, you now have my permission to do that. It's all about starting to give yourself that permission. So the human design aspect that may make you prone to feel this fear is if you have gate 28 defined in your chart. Gate 28 is sitting on your spleen center. Gate 28 is the one that is sitting here. It's on the left side of your chart. It goes from the little triangle here that points to the right, which is your spleen center, and it's the gate here in the middle. If that is colored either in black and red, it means that you have gate 28 active. You can also see like the numbers of the gates on both sides, on either side of your chart. If you have 28 point something, that means that yes, you have gate 28 defined in your chart. Gate 28 means that you have a gift for the perfect timing. You have such a sense for timing. You are really in tune with divine timing. You are dancing with the universe. It just comes naturally to you. You have a feeling like, okay, now is the time to go a little faster. Now is the time to take a step back. Now is the time to rest. Now is the time to speak about this. Now is the time to launch my YouTube channel. Now is the time for you. So really give yourself a big hug because you have this excellent sense of timing. And the shadow side that you may feel, yes, it might be that you feel like it's too late. But then remember, turn it into the light. Alchemize the fear of it being too late to the gift. Into I am so good at feeling the timing of things in general in my life. And say like, okay, where can I apply it? Is the timing off in my life in general? Maybe it's just your intuition knocking you in the shoulder telling that, hey, you might want to adjust the timing in your life in this regard, or in this project, in your business, in your relationship. Something is moving a little too fast, a little too slow in your life. And it has nothing to do with it being too late for you to start a YouTube channel, because you know what? You are just in time. And the last fear number 7 around starting your own YouTube channel. It's a little bonus one. It's the fear that is saying, I am not technical. And I actually don't have a specific human design aspect in mind. This is just something that came up a lot to me. It took me 13 months to start my YouTube channel. From the time when I felt intuitively that this is gonna happen, it has already happened, because time doesn't exist. It has already happened. I just need to take the actions in the 3D world to make it happen in the 3D world. But it had already happened. It was already an energetic reality, an energetic truth. But one of the fears that came up that was holding me back from starting my YouTube channel was the ID, the false ID that I am not technical, and it's so technical. Oh, I don't know how to edit videos. I don't know even how to push the play button, the record button on my phone to film, which I hope that you know. Otherwise, it's just a little button there. And the thing is that you don't, when it comes to technical things, you don't even need a camera. I'm filming this now on my iPhone 12 Pro. You can just start filming on your phone, and then you can evolve as you go. Because phones these days, they are so good. And when it comes to editing, I was actually surprised, because I had this fear of, oh, it sounds so hard, and I need to learn a software. I need to learn exactly how to edit. But there are so many free tutorials out there. So I just found a YouTube tutorial on iMovie. It was like 40 minutes or something. I learned the basics, and after that, I was ready to edit my first movie, my first video. It was that simple, and in my head it was this insurmountable mountain, like Mount Everest kind of thing that I needed to climb. Not true, it was this tiny little hill, like more a Netherlands mountain than Mount Everest. So that is what fear does. Remember that fear is like a magnifying glass. It takes something that is quite small and makes it huge, makes it feel like, oh, I will never be able to get through this. So just take your power back and look at fear, become friends, give fear a hug, and it will just melt away. It will make your life so much easier if you get into the habit of doing this. So I promise you that you are technical enough. It is so easy. We're not living in the 1980s anymore. You can edit your own videos, and the thing is that you don't even need to edit your videos if you don't want to. You can just post them unedited, the raw thing. People like real, so you don't need to make this kind of TV show appearance where the lighting is perfect and everything is perfect. Maybe this is just an excuse because I'm not having that kind of videos yet. But so the only difference between me filming videos on my phone and putting them out on YouTube And you who may feel like, oh, that's not good enough, I need to have this perfection, I need to have them perfectly edited and filmed, I need to have the light being perfect, the sound being perfect. The only difference between me and you is that I gave myself permission. I gave myself permission to things not being perfect. So this goes actually back to that fear that we talked about earlier about perfectionism. So you may want to look back to that if you feel the fear around I am not technical. But it is so much easier than you think. I promise. If you have never done this before, it's so much easier than you think. If you can use an iPhone, you can for sure edit your own videos. You don't even need to edit your own videos. And what really surprised me is that I really enjoy editing videos. I found it so much fun. And on beforehand, my mind told me, oh, this is going to be so boring. It's going to be so tedious. It's going to be so heavy. It's going to be so much work. And now I just love sitting and watching myself. I mean, I'm pretty cute. Sitting watching myself doing all these bloopers and trying and failing and growing. You really form a relationship with yourself also, actually, by starting your YouTube channel, by making these videos, and you see that you are so much better than you thought, than what your fear told you. Whew. So that was a lot of information at once. I hope that you enjoyed this. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button if this gave you any kind of value. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notifications, because I am planning on posting a lot. The universe is just pushing me to post a lot, and I have no choice but to listen. I mean, who am I to say no to the universe? When the universe knocks on the door, I open. And the universe is knocking on your door too. So now go out there, start your YouTube channel. Remember that you are awesome. You are good enough. So that was all we had to talk about today. Love you so much, and see you in the next vid. Bye.